The US military says a drone strike in Afghanistan last month against a suspected car bomb killed an innocent aid worker and 9 members of his family. 7 of those killed were children. The UN has warned it'll be impossible to keep global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius unless huge cuts to greenhouse gas emissions are implemented immediately. After a brief dip, emissions are on the rise again. England has scrapped the need for fully vaccinated travellers to take expensive PCR tests when they arrive from abroad. They'll be allowed to use cheaper lateral flow tests instead. The traffic light system is also being changed. And Google and Apple have removed a tactical voting app from their online stores in Russia on the first day of parliamentary elections. A source close to Google said its removal followed threats of criminal prosecution.
Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison rejects China's criticism of his country's new nuclear submarine deal with the United States and Britain. The West African group ECOWAS orders restrictions on the travel and finances of military rulers in Guinea and Mali for their seizure of power. An order from U.S. President Joe Biden threatens to place restrictions on Ethiopia, Eritrea, and others involved in the conflict in Tigray, where millions are in need of humanitarian aid. And in California, firefighters battle a wildfire threatening ancient trees in giant Sequoia National Monument.
ABC's Alex Brachet with all of the latest headlines for us. Good afternoon, Alex.
Hey, Amy, good to see you. We begin today with concerns about a controversial gathering here in Washington, D.C. this weekend. Law enforcement and the Department of Homeland Security is bracing for that rally in support of the January 6th insurrectionists. On the lookout for potential violence right now. Fencing has gone up around the entire Capitol complex and the Supreme Court. Most Republicans in Congress distancing themselves from tomorrow's rally, but former President Trump expressing support for the lethal mob that tried to stop the outcome of the election and threatened to hang his vice president. And the growing humanitarian crisis in Texas. Around 10,000 migrants held under a bridge in Del Rio in triple-digit heat. Food and water scarce. It's a temporary staging site where the migrants, many are from Haiti, are waiting to be taken into custody. Customs and Border Protection sending extra manpower. And the nation's top military officer is speaking out for the first time after a new book reported calls he made to calm China in the chaotic days at the end of the Trump presidency. General Mark Milley telling the Associated Press on a trip to Europe that those calls were, quote, perfectly within the duties and responsibilities of his job. Milley adding that he would have more to say when he testifies before Congress later this month. The White House and the Defense Secretary have expressed full confidence in General Milley. And new questions around the disappearance of Gabby Petito. Police say boyfriend Brian Laundrie is now a person of interest after he returned home alone from the trip the two took cross country. Laundrie's sister, Cassie, telling ABC News that Gabby is, quote, like a sister and that the family wants her home safe and sound. Body camera images show the couple involved in a dispute in Arches National Park in Utah. Neighbors outside Laundrie's home demanding answers. Laundrie's attorney says he's advised his client to stay silent because any statement would be used against him, even if he had nothing to do with her disappearance. And finally here, the efforts to keep one of the nation's largest and oldest trees safe from wildfire flames. The massive General Sherman tree in California's National Sequoia Forest, believed to be thousands of years old, among the trees being wrapped in protective aluminum by firefighter crews battling the K&P complex fire. Saving some of those ancient trees is a top priority, and TJ, 8 states from California to North Dakota are under red flag warnings due to some windy conditions. It's amazing to see how much difference wind can make.
Wow. All right, Alex, we appreciate you being here with us today. You enjoy your weekend. We'll see you here soon, man.
Tropical storm Chanthu is battering western Japan with heavy rain and powerful winds. It made landfall in northern Kyushu as a severe tropical storm on Friday evening. An evacuation order was in place for about 14,000 residents in Yamaguchi, Tokushima, Kochi, and Miyazaki prefectures as of 8:30 p.m. Thousands of homes have lost power. Heavy rains already caused widespread flooding hours before the storm's arrival. In parts of Kochi prefecture, many houses were inundated.
When I woke up, the whole area was like a pond. I was surprised.
Public transportation has also been disrupted. Some Shinkansen bullet train routes and local lines have been suspended. Over 300 flights to and from Kyushu were canceled. Chanthu is expected to move further east towards Tokyo over the weekend. Authorities are warning people in the storm's path about possible flooding, landslides, and lightning. Our meteorologist Sayaka Mori joins us with the latest details.
Chanthu made Fukuoka Prefecture on Friday. That was the first landfall to hit Fukuoka Prefecture since records began in 1951. And it was on Friday that date has the highest probability of named storms hitting the country based on historic data. So it was a storm-prone day. The system has brought heavy rainfall over southern Kyushu too because it stole over the East China Sea, brought copious amounts of moisture from the ocean. Parts of Miyazaki Prefecture saw lots of rain, about 800 millimeters fell in 72 hours. That's the all-time record. Parts of Kochi saw 300 millimeters in 6 hours. Now, heavy rain is shifting towards the east. Now, we will likely see lots of heavy rainfall over parts of western Japan and central Japan on Saturday. This is the rainfall forecast for your Saturday. Gusts could be nearly 130 kilometers per hour, strong enough to topple trees. Power outages will likely occur because of strong winds. Waves are going to be up to 6 meters along the coast. September is the time when we see higher water levels. Now, we will see lots of rain for many places of Japan, especially along the Pacific side from Saturday into Sunday. We might see an additional 400 millimeters of rain over the Tokai region. You'll see spotty heavy rainfall across the north because we will see another storm moving across northern Japan during the weekend. This storm is a very unique one. Instead of moving towards the northwest, it will likely move the archipelago towards the east. That means many major cities, including Osaka, Nagoya, and Tokyo, will be directly affected by the storm. So be careful of traffic delays. Coastal flooding, river flooding could occur because of the storm. And if you see flooded roadways, don't try to drive through the flooded roadways because it's going to be very dangerous.
The race to lead Japan's main governing Liberal Democratic Party has officially begun. Candidates quickly got to work, laying out promises and vying for support. The winner is virtually assured to be the next prime minister. Here's who's in the running. Kono Taro is the current regulatory reform minister and is in charge of Japan's coronavirus vaccine rollout. Kishida Fumio was the chair of the LDP Policy Research Council and before that, a foreign minister. Takaichi Sanae is a former Internal Affairs and Communications Minister. She also chaired the LDP Policy Research Council. Noda Seiko is the LDP Executive Acting Secretary General and was also an Internal Affairs and Communications Minister. Campaigning will likely focus on anti-coronavirus measures and how to get the economy and healthcare system back in shape. Defense and foreign policy could also be on the agenda. Here's how the election process will work. There are 766 votes up for grabs. Half are direct votes from LDP Diet members. Another 383 votes will be decided on by rank-and-file party members across the country. These are allocated based on proportional representation. The party will elect its new president on September 29th. On the following Monday, Japan's government plans to open a diet session so lawmakers can choose the successor to Prime Minister Suga Yoshihide. Hours after campaigning began, Suga pledged support to his vaccine minister Kono. He said it's important to maintain continuity as the government works to control the spreading coronavirus. Russia and China have agreed on the need for stability in Afghanistan. The leaders of both countries spoke during a meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The security bloc held the summit in Tajikistan's capital of Dushanbe on Friday. It focused on Afghanistan, where the Taliban have regained power. Russian President Vladimir Putin attended online. He stressed the importance of using the organization's potential to provide all possible assistance to the start of an inclusive peace process in Afghanistan. Chinese President Xi Jinping also participated virtually. He said member states need to encourage Afghanistan to put in place a broad-based political framework. He also said they should adopt moderate policies and commit to fighting terrorism. China and Russia appear to be cautious about recognizing a Taliban administration. Analysts say it's important for the countries to prevent an influx of extremists from Afghanistan across their borders and Central Asia. A Japanese startup has notified the health ministry of its plan to market genome-edited fish with more meat. The firm began taking orders for trial sales on Friday. Kyoto-based Regional Fish Institute developed the Madai red sea bream. Hampering a protein that suppresses muscle growth gives this fish 20% more meat than regular sea bream. This is the second genome-edited food to hit Japan's markets. The health ministry in December accepted genome-edited tomatoes with higher content of a nutrient thought to lower blood pressure. They went on sale online this week. Genome-edited foods are not genetically modified. They're considered as safe as anything improved using conventional methods because outside genes are not introduced.
The modified fish is the world's first genome-edited animal-based food to be sold. We hope it opens up the possibilities of aquaculture and contributes to local industries.
The company plans to explore commercial sales after studying feedback from the trials. Next, we have a check on world weather. Our meteorologist Sakamori joins us again.
Hello there. Monsoon rains are quite active across parts of eastern India. Flooding is taking place. Take a look at this footage. Heavy rainfall has led to serious flooding in eastern India this week. Roads have been inundated, making it impossible for people to travel in some places. The water has also swamped homes and huts, causing serious damage to property. We will likely see more heavy rainfall across parts of eastern India. Western India will also see drenching rainfall. Earlier this week, significant floods took place in parts of the west. Over 1,000 millimeters of rain has fallen in Jeju Island. It fell. 1.3 meters of rain fell in just 5 days or so because of a stalled system called the Chanthu. The Chanthu is now moving across western Japan, bringing copious amounts of heavy rain. Due to another system, northern Japan will also see drenching rainfall. So as you can see, the whole of the nation from the north to the south will see heavy rainfall into Sunday, possibly into Monday. But after the systems move through, it's going to be pretty hot and sunny. Osaka will stay in the 30s every day from Monday to Friday. Tokyo will see a return of summer later next week. That's it for me. Stay safe.